everyone, today we're going to be doing another ranking video. I've only done one of these where I ranked all of my Juvia's Place palettes. I wanted to do more ranking videos like this, but I didn't really find it to be too interesting to be ranking my highlighters and stuff. I know a lot of people have done that, but I don't think I would actually be able to do that. I could probably maybe do like my top 5 in each category, but I feel like those would just end up being really short videos. So what I've come up with is that I want to rank all of the last 10 eyeshadow palettes that I bought, because this way it's something that I can keep doing all the time because I always get new eyeshadow palettes and I feel like I can do these like every couple of months because I just buy too many because I have a problem. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So I kind of went through my feed and went through like all of my purchase histories and just to see which ones were actually the ones that I bought last. So these aren't necessarily the ones that I made reviews on last, but these are the ones that got to me last. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to start from the bottom. I don't want to show you all of the palettes now because I don't want you to get an idea of what my rankings are going to be. So I'm just going to start off on the bottom. So in the number 10 spot, it's actually probably not going to be a surprise to anybody, but this is the Juvia's Place Coral palette. I have mentioned this in other videos that honestly I just think this palette is a little bit boring, and the main reason why I bought this was just to review it and because I like Juvia's Place, and I just didn't think that the formula on this palette was as good as their other palettes. The shimmers were a little bit lackluster. I didn't think the mattes were as pigmented and as good. It's still fine. I mean, it's an okay palette, but I wasn't blown away at all by the formula of this, so that's why this palette ended up in the last spot. So I don't know if I'm supposed to credit someone for this idea because I feel like these videos have kind of been going around a lot lately, but the one person that comes to mind is Samantha March, so I will leave her channel down below just to kind of, you know, give credit to someone because I wasn't the one who started this. So let's move on to the number 9 spot. So the number 9 spot is going to go to the Colourpop Main Squeeze palette. If you have not seen this, this is their red monochromatic palette, and these just aren't really my kind of colors. This was more of like a collector's item for me because I had all of the other ones and I was like, I might as well just get this one too because it's really cute, and I just feel like I can do some fun videos with these palettes. And I mean, they're 12 bucks, and that's basically like me trying to get over free shipping, so not really a big deal that I bought this, but I can't say I love it. I do think the formula is great, even though I've only used it twice and I've only used 2 shadows, but it seems to be the same formula as all of the other shadows that I have in the little palette. So I mean, I've swatched this and they felt the same, so I can't really say anything bad about this. It's a really cute palette. It's just not really my kind of color story. And I feel like that's the theme with all of these palettes that are kind of on the bottom, is that they're just not my favorite color stories. And the next one is a palette that I absolutely love and adore, the formula anyway, and this is the Kaleidos Cyber Bronze palette. So this is what the Kaleidos palettes look like. I'll link some of my videos with the Kaleidos collection in the corner if you want to check those out. But if you haven't seen this palette, this is basically 1 out of 3, and this is like the kind of neutral one. So I like this palette. I love the formula. I think it's a great quality palette. It's just, I mean, look at these mattes. Are these mattes really me? Like these 3 mattes, just not really my thing. I love the silver in this though, and the red shimmer. So beautiful. But I couldn't rank this any higher even though I love the formula. It's just, I know I'm not going to be reaching for this a lot, and it's probably only going to be with future videos. So for that reason, this ended up in my number 8 spot. This was number 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so number 8. So let's move on to number 7. It's starting to get a little bit more exciting now. So for the number 7 spot, I have the Blue Moon palette by Colourpop. I did do a video with this one and the Main Squeeze palette. I will link that up there as well if you want to check it out. But here is what the palette looks like. It's a beautiful palette, okay? I just haven't really used it enough. I do think it's pretty. I need to get more use out of it, but I don't find myself as drawn to this as I do with like the other kind of blue-green palettes or blue something else palette. It's just a little bit too much blue, but hey, I mean, that's what you get for buying a blue monochromatic palette. I don't see myself doing like a 3 looks 1 palette or anything like that with this palette. This as well was kind of more of a collector's item. I've said many times, but I'm not really a completionist. And here I am buying all of these stupid Colourpop palettes because I just can't help myself. I mean, Colourpop just gets me. They get me every time. They get me with every release. I always have a Colourpop order coming, it feels like. So I guess they're doing everything right because I keep giving them my money. So, you know, more power to Colourpop, I guess. So for the number 6 spot, I think we're at number 6. That was number 7. So for number 6, this is a palette that I love the formula so much, and this was actually sent to me by Alter Ego. This is their Goddess palette. I forgot to mention in the video that I made with this that I actually have a code with them. It's not affiliated, it's just Annette if you want to get 10% off, so I'll put that up on the screen. But just in case you were wondering and you wanted to get one of these palettes, I mean, they are so good. The quality of this fantastic. I mean, honestly, this is like high-end quality. I would compare this to, I don't even know, Natasha Denona, honestly, because this is a dupe for Natasha Denona, and I feel like the formula is actually a dupe for the Natasha Denona too. Like, this is just, it's so good. I can't say anything else about it. So despite this being a very, very neutral palette, it ended up in my number 6 spot because I think it's that good. Let's move into the top 5. It's starting to get a little bit more exciting. This is a palette that I've only used once, but I really liked it. I like the color story, I like the size of it, and this is the BH Cosmetics Illusion palette. I will link videos that I've done with all of these down in the description box. I'll link a few up here, but I just don't have enough cards for that. So whichever other videos I have with all of these palettes, I will link them down in the description box if you want to go check them out. But this is what the palette looks like. This is a mini palette. It is so cute. I loved working with this. I think the colors in this are just so pretty. I'm honestly probably going to bring this traveling when I go home to visit my family in July because this is just so convenient. There's just so many things you can do with this. Like, it's so versatile. I love the size. Have I told you that I love the size of this palette? I wish every palette was this small. I don't need more eyeshadow than this. I mean, honestly, I feel like the pan sizes in this is like the equivalent of like 3 full-size eyeshadows, and that's exactly what I want. I don't need more than that. So that's why this palette ended up so high, even if I only played with it once, because I just really like it. I like the concept of it. I like the color story. I like the way it performed when I used it. Is it like the most pigmented thing in the world? No. Is it the most groundbreaking color story? No, but it's a great palette. It's just a good palette. For the number 4 spot, we have another Kaleidos palette because I love my Kaleidos palettes, and you'll see because there will be another one coming up. So this is the green one. It's called the Sci-Fi green. This is what it looks like. The packaging on these guys, it's just, I wish every brand would put this much thought and love and effort into their packaging because I just love it. Is it a little bit bulky and inconvenient? Yes, but I don't really mind it because it's so cool. Look at that. Like, no other brand does stuff like this. It's just very original, and I appreciate that. So this is what the palette looks like. The reason why this palette ended up pretty high up on my list but not all the way up top is just because I feel like there's only so many looks you can do with this. Let's be real. I mean, there's only like green and mustard matte, so that's basically what you have to work with, and a black, of course. And also I find that these 2 shades here are pretty similar, as well as these 2 gold shades are pretty similar. I wish that they had swapped out one of these for something else and one of these for something else, just to give it a little bit more dimension and depth. I mean, there's plenty of depth, but I feel like they could have done something just a little bit different to kind of make this a bit more of a versatile palette. But don't get me wrong, I love this. I think this is a great palette. I don't really have anything else to say about it. I think the quality of these palettes are just A+, honestly. It's some of the best formulas that I've tried in a long time, so I feel like these really deserve the hype that they've been getting, and I can't wait to see what else they come out with. I feel like they're going to become a very, very big brand, and I can't wait to be on the journey with them for that because I will be supporting them. I will be buying their stuff, assuming it's obviously something that I am interested in, but I am definitely going to be buying more from Kaleidos because I'm so impressed by all of these palettes. So let's move into the top 3 now. So I feel like some of you can probably guess at least 1 or 2 of the palettes that are going to be in my top 3. Some of you might be surprised by the next one, which is in my 3rd spot. And this is the Beaute Oceanic palette. I was having a bit of a hard time with this when I did my review and my 3 looks. But what can you say about this color story? Is this not the most beautiful, interesting, unique color story that you have ever seen? Because the tones in this, the way that the mattes are compared to the shimmers, it's just perfection. I mean, whoever came up with this palette and designed this palette did such a good job. I'm so impressed, and for the color story alone, even if it is a little bit of a pain in the ass to work with some of these shimmers, I am going to try this with some glitter glue. Some of you guys told me that this definitely performs a lot better with glitter glue than when you spray your brush, so I'm gonna have to test that out and see if I like it any better, and hopefully I do. But there's something about this palette that it just makes me happy to look at, and I can't really say anything bad about this. Just look at it. Isn't it just beautiful? It needed to be in my top 3. It just had to be. Even if it's not my favorite to work with, I can make it work, and I was happy with the looks that I did with this. It just took a little bit extra effort, but it's so worth it. So let's move into the top 2. So the next palette is also going to be the last Kaleidos palette, which, I mean, I was kind of hinting at that. This is the Astro Pink palette. This is what the packaging looks like. Oh, it's so beautiful. Opens just like all of the other ones. It has a very strong magnetic closure, so if you don't have nails, you might have a hard time getting under there. This is what the palette looks like. The shadows in this that really intrigues me the most are these three right here. Let me show you some swatches because I just cannot get enough of these. I mean, these are just... I'm just going to swatch right over that yellow that I had on my hand already. But this pink, oh, I can't even. This one is not as good swatched out, but when you layer this on top of something else, I mean, my heart beats faster every time I do that. And it's such a good shadow. It just, I can't even explain to you how much I love this shadow. So I want to say that this is one of my favorite palettes that I have in my collection, honestly, because the color story is great. It's very curated. It's got some absolutely beautiful, unique shadows in it, and I want to be buried with this palette because I think it's so beautiful. I love the packaging. I love how sleek it is. I love how easy this would be to travel with. It's just perfection. I don't know what else to say. I love this. So for the palette in my #1 spot, a lot of you are going to be surprised, I think. This is a palette that I've only tried once. I can't wait to play with it again. This is the Taco palette by Glamlite. I know, you're like, really? But I just love the color story in this. I love the formula of Glamlite. If I could have put the burger palette in this list, I would have probably put that in #1 spot, but I bought all of these palettes after I bought the burger palette, so it just didn't fit into my last 10 palettes I bought. This is what the palette looks like. I think the color story in this is super beautiful. It's very unique. I love me some good, colorful, bright mattes. I think they did a really good job with this. Very versatile. You can do so many things with this. This is probably going to be one of my next 3 looks 1 palette videos because I really want to play more with this, as well as the Glamlite burger palette. I'm trying to get through all of my palettes, you guys. I'm so behind. I try. It's so hard. I also know with the Jeffree Star palette coming up that will be launching. Now that I'm filming this, it's in 5 days. So, you know, I'll be doing like 13 looks probably within a week with those 2 palettes. So I got some work in front of me and I don't want to tire my eyes out completely before that. So just know that I really do want to do more looks with this palette. I get so inspired looking at this. I just think the whole theme of this is fun. I know some people think it's stupid, it's food, they don't want greasy food on their eyes. You know what? I think it's fun. And let me just think that, you know, I think a lot of people think this is fun. It's a very unique idea. It's very lighthearted. It's nothing serious. It's just food. So I really appreciate that. And that is why the Glamlite palette is the winner of the 10 last palettes that I have bought. So yeah, congratulations to the Taco palette by Glamlite because I love this. So those are going to be all of the last 10 palettes that I have bought. Let me know if you want to see more of these ranking videos. Let me know if you want to see me rank like other items in my collection, like highlighters and blushes and stuff like that. I'm not going to rank all of them. I can probably do a top 10, maybe a top 5 depending on the category, but if you really want to see that, let me know. It's not going to be enough if just one of you say yes. I'm going to need a lot of people to, you know, jump on a bandwagon with this. So, but let me know if you want to see more ranking videos because I like doing these and I definitely want to keep doing them with the palettes that I buy, you know, when I have enough palettes to actually rank them. So yeah, let me know what you want to see me rank next and I can probably do so. And if you want to see more videos that are maybe kind of similar to this, I will pop some up on the screen for you. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing and I will see you in my next one. Bye.